I was always the person who everybody wanted to come and talk to. So I was the person that listened.
Aha.
So apparently I developed that
Oh, he's
ability.
that guy. He's that
Yeah,
guy. He's the
I
one to
don't-
listen.
Oh, one of those.
One of those guys really cares. That's a problem.
And my thing was I might as well make a living out of it,
Right.
bring in a couple extra dollars from it. So I did. I went to school for it, and the rest is history.
Talk a little bit about the business side of what you do, because I talk to professionals all the time, and a lot of us small business people, we don't see what you guys do. Dentists, doctors, as businesses. Talk a little bit about the business side of that, because it is a business. You do have to market. You do have to create revenue.
Absolutely. It is, and it's an interesting space, especially for me. Normally what I would do is work in a 40-hour-a-week work week. And so I didn't really have to do a lot of the marketing piece. And now I'm in a different space, moving here in August and kind of being able to set myself up for business. And it's interesting because you have to go around and tell people not only that you're a psychologist, but you can help. And immediately
you got to tell them that you're good. And how do you do that without looking bad?
Right, exactly. But, I found that everybody that I speak to, they're ready. They're ready to talk. Everybody has something that's on their mind, something that they want to share. It's just finding the ability and whoever has the space and the time to see them, to talk to them. So it's I love it. I love being able to share what I have to offer with people and to let them know that healing is available.
So tell us about your book and how it relates to your work. It's what's it called? From Morning to Night, and morning is MOURNING.
That's it.
Tonight, KNIGHT.
That's it. That's it.
That's a fascinating title. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I started writing that in 2012. My dad had just passed away from Alzheimer's, and I was doing a lot of contractual work with the military, and at that time I didn't have an actual position. So I was out of work for a couple of months, and I said, well, let me do something with my time here. And so I just started writing. It was initially a therapeutic thing for me. I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts and feelings onto paper. And it morphed and eventually into this book. I wanted to again, just share with other people my experiences of losses. And as I started putting everything down on paper, I realized everything that I talked about was a loss. And being on the other side of the table from people when they're telling me what they're going through, what they're dealing with in their daily workings, a lot of times they go through losses, and I want to be able to give them that sense of hope. And I feel like this book, if I can give one person a sense of hope that whatever they're dealing with, whatever kind of dark periods of experiences they may be dealing with, that there's always light, the sun is always shining.
It's so interesting that you discuss this, because in business, what I see that takes the fire and the juice out of small business people is when they had a level of sales, they lose a big client, something happens that's a loss in business. And I'm telling you, to get back at it again is extremely difficult to do. So it is, what you're describing is in personal, and it's also in business, because it's this emotional, for some reason you've lost something that you had yesterday, and daggone it, for some reason that client that you lost is a whole lot more valuable than when you had him yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So it does come back to the business model, and how do you pick yourself up after whatever kind of loss it is, and to be able to just persist to that level of success,
right,
that we all are capable of.
Your website talks about EFT. I'd never heard this before. Emotional freedom techniques. Now, what on earth is that?
That's my thing. I
That's
love
your
EFT. So let me just tell you how I found it.
I can't find it on the web. Say that again. EMT?
EFT.
EFT.
Emotional freedom techniques.
Okay.
Right?
That's it.
That's
it.
my thing.
AKA tapping. So I found this. I was working on a military base in the D.C. area, And I was trained psychodynamically, which is Freudian, like, id, ego, superego, all that stuff. Working with trauma, I was working with the PTSD and Trauma Initiative on the base there. And so seeing a lot of trauma, I realized psychodynamic, it was good to have as a base, but it wasn't helping me get far with the trauma. And at times I felt like I was kind of re-traumatizing people. So I started doing research on ways to help people through trauma that's not psychodynamic. And I found EFT, emotional freedom techniques, which is also called tapping. And basically what you do is you tap into different pressure points, acupressure points, meridian points, which tap into the brain's fight, flight, or freeze center, the amygdala. And by doing this, you actually send a calming signal to that person. So instead of re-traumatizing them by just talking to them face to face, you're actually helping them send a calming signal to the brain so
this
they
is
can
something
process.
you do physically?
Yeah, you actually tap on different parts of your face and your body while you're talking. It's interesting. Some people say it looks weird, and I would be the first to agree initially.
But if it works.
But it works. It works.
Interesting.
It works.
Well, I was working with Chris, the hypnotist. That's one of the things he was helping me with. Absolutely find a spot.
Yes.
Was he poking you?
No, you poke yourself.
Oh, you poke
You
yourself.
find a spot.
Poke yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You poke yourself.
Whatever
Tap.
spot, whatever
Tap
spot
yourself.
resonates with you, if you
Right.
will.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the man right on. His thing, it works. It really does.
I'd like to tap you, Joe.
That sounds like stop with
I'd like
the
to
bell,
poke at
man.
you a little bit.
That means with a hammer.
Okay, so Dr. Damon Silas. So what techniques or interventions do you specialize in, or do you find to be most effective in the end?
Well, in addition to EFT, I would say hypnosis.
Okay.
I recently got into hypnosis. And again, just looking for something that works with people that's not re-traumatizing them. And sometimes people don't want to retell their story over and over again. So with hypnosis, you just tap into the subconscious mind, because talking to people, you only get them talking through the conscious part of the mind. And the conscious part of the mind is 10% of our thinking, doing, being.
Interesting.
Unconscious
He a
is
genius, I tell you, a genius.
90%. I mean, I didn't want to be the one to say it, but
That's
no,
okay.
I'm just playing.
Around here we do ring our own bell.
Yeah, particularly Joe. Yes. There's something else on your website. It's called Online Therapeutic Services. Do you remember that you have that on your website? Sometimes people are a little surprised.
Yeah, sometimes I forget what I put on there, so thank you for reminding me.
I was curious as to what that means. Do you know what it means?
No, I do, actually, surprisingly.
I hope he does.
I am actually credentialed through an online therapy service, Amwell and Start Live Health Online, which essentially I can provide online services. So it's almost like doing therapy via Skype, but it's a HIPAA-compliant way of doing it. So Skype wouldn't be secure. But
I think it's the future, right?
It is.
You and I talked about it the first time we met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of people who don't have access, whether, they're far from providers or they just don't have the time. So for me, I like doing the 11 to 1 time, the lunch time, because people can actually do sessions during their lunch hour.
And this new generation feel comfortable talking into this stupid computer.
Exactly. And so for me, it's a matter of trying to get used to that,
Well, I shouldn't say that because you are this young generation.
I appreciate the compliment. I won't tell you how old I really am. No.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can call me at 704-781-7117, or they can email me at Damon, which is DAMON, at LKN Counselors, which is COUN. I really do know how to spell. COUNSELORS.com.
Now, you got to do all that one more time because it's radio.
That's a lot. Yep. So they can call me at 704-781-7117, or they can email me at damon@lkncounselors.com.
We got just 1 minute. I'm going to read this off your website, and you're going to tell me how you do this.
Sure.
Discovering new ways to solve problems in your family and marriage. And I'm going to assume it would also help me in small business, with aggravating partners.
Right.
Can you talk just a little bit about that?
Sure. And for me, it's about helping people discover what is internal, but they haven't been able to either let go of things in the past or just live fully in the present. And so for me, it's really about helping people living fully in the present. A lot of times people get stuck. And so I want to help them become unstuck.
Thanks, Doc. This
Absolutely.
was great. It was
Thank
great
you.
meeting you. I met him at a networking function for Lake Norman Chamber.
Yeah, Dr. Damon
Yeah.
Silas. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Yes.